Shamar, Yasha'ala, Alahayanawa, Yahweh, Akkad, Kahala Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakah Kadash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace salutations unto the hopeful elect. I am your host, Yahweh, and basically the topic of tonight's show will will tentatively be entitled Puerto Ricans and Latinos are racist too. Okay? I'm going to repeat that again. All right? For those of you that might be hard of hearing. Puerto Ricans and Latinos are racist too. Okay? That pretty much should sum it up right there. And why I came up with such a topic? Well, a few days ago, it was all over the news about this white Mexican fighter. I kind of forgot his name right now, but I'll just type it. I'll just briefly go over it on YouTube in a little while. This white Mexican fighter he started talking shit about so-called black people, and the same so-called blacks that you know that you that were cool with him and supported him. All right, and he basically came out and did a couple of racist, anti-black rants online. And his whole career as a boxer, as a fighter, been I don't think he's he doesn't have a snowball's chance in recovering his career. All right. So Lord willing, I'm gonna look up his name and briefly go over him real shortly. So I became inspired and thought I'd make a little hopefully an edifying show and lesson tonight. For folk, the show ain't gonna really focus on this guy. He just served as a minor inspiration for this topic. So what I attempt to do here is blend his take, on us colored people, because I am an old colored boy myself. All right, and that's one of the reasons I've decided to do this show, to work on this topic. All right, because there's a lot of of colored folks, even darker than me. All right, and the so-called Latino community. I'm talking about Afro Latinos. All right, that complain. All right, about being looked down at, or being looked down upon, being shunned. Okay, that's another word for looking down upon. All right, being despised and rejected by Puerto Ricans who are, who call themselves white, or who are considered white because they appear to look more like the American white man, or the Spanish conquistador. Okay, the Spaniard conquistador. They were the ones that conquered the islands of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. All right, they went on to conquer Mexico. All right, Colombia. All right, and they even tried to take they even tried to have a stronghold of the Philippines at one time. The Philippines is a country in Far East Asia. All right. So even in that part of the world, they tried conquering, but they lost it. They lost it to the white Americans. All right. That's why the people over there mainly mainly speak English, but they do have Spanish names. You know the majority of them. All right. But okay, so overall, the overall topic here, and I came up with this topic, based on my own, also based on my own experiences, all right, as a light brown colored person, that has dealt with these so-called white Puerto Ricans and Latinos, not just the white Puerto Ricans now, all right. That's why I entitled this show Puerto Ricans and Latinos, all right? So called Puerto Ricans and Latinos are racist too, all right? There are plenty of Mexicans, so called Mexicans, Colombians, people from Ecuador, all right? Peru, all right? Not to mention Argentina, all right? All these places and people I just mentioned, they overwhelmingly look down on colored folk. They look down on you so-called people of color, whether you're so-called African American or Afro Latino. Okay, then you dig where I'm coming from. All right, you must know and dig where this brother is coming from by now. If you're seeing if you're seeing this lesson. If you're seeing this show, right? You know the message I'm trying to stream across. All right. Uh, you know, many of us, people like myself have tried, you know, have tried to, date or be with a so-called Puerto Rican or Latino woman, whose skin happens to be lighter, and she could easily pass for being a white girl, right? And then there's situations where you have to come across and dealing with rejection, whether on the part of her later on or her family members' point of view, all right? And such a situation really happened to me many many years ago. All right, and I was deeply affected by that situation. All right, now I don't have to give uh, every last detail of of that failed relationship, but I thought I bring that up as a minor example. All right, that's what many other guys just like me go through when it comes to so-called interracial relationships, all right, or so-called intercolor relationships, whatever you want to call it, and in this very separatist and 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 divide and conquer world of the so-called white man, okay, the word racism, he has spread that word and he has infected the whole world, okay, with his way of thinking, with his philosophies, okay, with his doctrines, okay. What the majority of us get taught in this white man schools is really racism, okay. You get to learn more about their history, okay? The white man did this, the white man did that, when in reality, it was the so called colored man, the black man, that has contributed to many things that people take for granted in this society. Many inventions, many of the things that people take for granted. All right? I'm going to bring an elevator as an example. those kind of things were really invented by black people. Just look it up on the internet. There's even a book on that. Okay, but that's a whole nother topic. All right. I'm just trying to basically summarize, okay, and put together, all right, for the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashan Yahushai, all right, that this is a very separatist and racist society that we live in. It's also a hypocritical society, all right, because I once grew up thinking, all right, I once grew up thinking, you know, that so-called Latino culture, it's all about one people. We are all the same. We are all united. Okay, it doesn't matter how dark or how light you are. Okay, it doesn't even matter if you may look Asian or whatever. We are all still so-called Latino, right? Right? But I came to find out the hard way based on that little, that little experience I had, okay, with uh, this white Puerto Rican woman I briefly dealt with, all right? Her family didn't want her to deal with me simply because of the color of my skin, all right? Simply because I have a little tiny, a little, if not a quarter of so-called black in me. All right, because I come from a racially mixed family. All right, so but to these people, to these colonial minded, all right, to these Salakia, to these colonial minded women out there, all right, they've been indoctrinated to think a certain way and look down, all right, look down on men of color, okay. They rather be with a damn white guy, man. Okay, the majority of these so-called Latinas, okay, one of your most famous Latinas is who? J Lo, right? Jennifer Lopez, all right? The so-called man of her life is really who? A so-called white man, Ben Affleck, all right? And right now, they're so, okay? But she wanted a white man, right? You get what you get, right? So there you go, all right? But that's not going to stop overwhelmingly these folks from from still shunning a man of color. You understand what I'm saying? And and some of these some of these white Latinas or white Latinos, right? Let's just spill the beans on that. Okay, if they get down with a darker skinned person, all right, and they say they love you, right? Don't really believe the hype, all right? They I'm speaking from experience, all right? Most of these so-called white Latinos or Latinas, if there were with a darker person, all right, it's only for pure sexual desire, okay? So sexual desire, okay, to fulfill their lust of wanting to know what it's like to be with a person darker, all right, and not only darker but stronger. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, okay, you know, and the same thing goes for most of these other white women out there. Not just the Latina ones. That they would look at any darker person, whether whether deep melanated or not, as an object of desire. Okay, as an object of sexual desire, man. Okay, that's what happened to many of our forefathers in slavery. Okay, the slave master took advantage, all right, of a local witch. Okay, the slave master took advantage of a black slave woman as his sexual desire, to know what it's like to you know, to feel that darker skin on top of you, man, or over you. All right, as a sexual desire, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, the majority of our people are just being used right now. Okay, so the bottom line here is, all right, and once and I'm gonna play a few videos. All right, I'm gonna play the video of the white Mexican dude who made that racist rant not too long ago. All right, but before I do that, let's look up this term here on Wikipedia. All right, because I'm you know I tried doing a little research before doing this show. You know, I typed white Puerto Rican or whatever, and so I stumbled upon this here on Wikipedia. All right, and it does look like a very interesting article, as you see in the bold headline. It reads white Puerto Ricans. Okay, so I'm gonna read down. All right, white Puerto Ricans, Spanish Puertorriqueños blancos, are Puerto Ricans who self-identify as white due to a rubric of laws like the Regala del Sacal or Gracias al Sacar, dating back to the 1700s, where a person of mixed ancestry could be considered legally white, so long as they could prove that at least one person per generation in the last 4 generations had also been legally white. Therefore, people of mixed ancestry with no white lineage were classified as white. Okay? The opposite of the one drop rule in the United States. In the 2020 United States Census, the number of people who identified as white alone was about 536,044, or 16.5%, with an additional non-Hispanic 24,548, for a total population of 560,592. All right. So there you go. That's all I'm reading on that. All right. Wait a minute. Let me read this other part. All right. This is interesting. All right. Aside from Spanish, largely Canarian settlers, additional Europeans of many families from France, the United Kingdom, Portugal, Italy, Germany, Ireland, Scandinavia, among others, immigrated to Puerto Rico when the island was an overseas province of Spain, particularly during the 1800s, due to the Royal Decree of Graces of 1815, where Spain encouraged immigration from other European countries to Puerto Rico. So there you go now. All right, I thought I'd give a brief rundown on that. And you had, okay, so the island alone, the United Kingdom, meaning Great Britain, all right, is really one of the so-called white families that settled into this island, okay, along with Portugal, Italy, Germany, Ireland, and Scandinavia. Now, a large portion of them European countries are known as being what? Okay? Most of them places mentioned here are known as what? Okay? I'm going to give you a hint. Does the letter R ring a bell? The majority of these countries are really what? Racist. Okay? Racist, racist, man. Okay? So they brought their racism with them into this island of Puerto Rico. And that's how generations later you have their descendants, okay? You have their descendants, whether they're still living there today or not, you have their descendants looking down and discriminating against so-called Afro-Latinos, people like myself, all right, and any other person of color, whether you're dark skinned or light brown skin, okay, the descendants of these people are the ones that are mistreating so-called people of color today, man. All right, that's the whole bottom line here. Okay, so if there's racism in Puerto Rico and in all these other places, okay, I just read you the immigration, right? The immigration policy of Spain. They encourage other settlers, okay, from places like United Kingdom and so on, to settle on that island. All right. Now let's go to YouTube real quick. Okay. I want to show whoever's watching that I did not, that this ain't no bullshit that I came up with all by myself. Like I said, I did a little research. And okay, a video still right there. Okay, that I'm gonna play a little tiny bit of this video to show, okay, that this racism I'm talking about is real. It is very real. It is not just often talked about, man. Okay, and these people, okay, these people that woman right there in the video, she looks a little a little tiny bit like me where the skin color is concerned. Okay, I'm pretty much almost her complexion. All right, and this is an Afro Puerto Rican woman right here complaining about how other Puerto Ricans who are so-called white have been discriminating against her. Okay, because of her Afro looks. Okay, so I'm gonna play the I'm gonna try and play the video from the beginning. All right, and stop right there where the woman speaks out. All right, let's check this out, y'all. You see that I ain't really bullshitting about this thing.
You have to be with a white guy because you have to perfect the race. Oh, your hair, like qué pelo malo. Ay, para ser una negra eres bastante linda. Oye, pero qué negra fina. That's what it's like.
As an Afro-Latino, I've experienced all forms of racism. I've experienced racism that is very covert and passive.
Cuando uno va a solicitar trabajo, una de las cosas que te miran es el pelo. Te dicen que te tienes que peinar, pero ahora mismo ya estoy peinada.
I've also experienced direct racism, being called racial slurs. I've been told, why do I live in a certain neighborhood?
Cuando te dicen, ¿verdad?, que eres feo por no tener unas características semejantes a las características europeas, a las características blancas.
There's also a problem about colorism. It's people of the same race with different skin colors, and they don't recognize their own privilege.
A lot of white Latinos, they say, oh, how can I be racist? I have black in me. Oh, my great-granddaddy is black. But yes, you can be racist. Just because you use that excuse does not cover up the fact you are a white person and you have privilege over black Latinos.
I definitely have felt the privilege of being white passing. I don't think I realized it when I was a kid. From probably the day that I was born, people commented on que blanquita, que pelo tan lindo, que pelo tan lacio, you know, all of these things about my appearance. And it wasn't until later on that I noticed, wow, this is actually something that is rooted in colorism and something that is rooted in racism. And, you know, something that might sound nice to me is actually perpetuating a system that oppresses others.
And my cousins and I would have conversations how if we had kids, how nice it would be if they turned out like our father's side of the family, which is lighter skin with green or blue eyes. And it's embarrassing for me to think of that now, but that is what was taught to us since we were little. And it wasn't until I grew up and I understood just how damaging that kind of thinking is. In order to fix this, in order to have a positive impact, we have to recognize our own racism. We have to recognize that the things that we grew up hearing about European features being superior to African features, that is wrong, and that we have to stop that rhetoric and change it for one that is true, that is positive, and that elevates the Black Latinos among them.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave it right there. If it's an interesting video. I played the first 2 minutes and 50 seconds of it. Just look it up on YouTube. Racism is also a Latino issue. Puerto Rican protesters speak out. Okay, and this light-skinned girl right here, she basically gave a rundown on how she was thought to, you know, to be racist-minded and look down on Afro-Latinos because of her light skin, and she's trying to stand up against it now. All right, but it's really few the people like her that try speaking against this racism, man. It is still very much alive today. All right, so without further ado, I got a couple of scriptures lined up, Lord willing, but let's look up the Mexican boxer. Mexican boxer. Uh, shit, I knew his name a little just a few days ago. You know what I'm saying? Hold on a minute. Mexican boxer. All right, racist rant. And I might get a hold of his name real quick and play a little bit of that video, because that was the real inspiration of me doing this show tonight. All right, just bear with me a moment. All right. Oh yeah, Ryan Garcia. That's the white Mexican's name. He's the one. Yeah, that little guy you see right there. He's the one that made some type of racist rant a couple of days or weeks ago, and it sparked a controversy. And like I said earlier, he his boxing career is over. All right, because he came out straight up, and talked a lot of shit. All right. Okay, Ryan Garcia banned from boxing after racist rant spews backhanded apology. Okay, and you can see reaction videos here. All right, I'm gonna try and hold on. This is one of them racist rants right here. Let's see if we can play that out a bit. All right. So that y'all might get a chance to hear that y'all might get a chance to hear this punk here.
Hey, where my echo at though? You know what you supposed to say. You ain't say it. Where you at?
Fuck you, nigger. What?
Yo, Ryan. Good morning, my nigga.
Good morning, my nigger.
Oh hell nah, cuz. Skin
Good
check.
morning, my nigga.
Skin
No,
check.
I said my nigger.
Pull out that Peter Griffin skin check, gang.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Where you at?
Yo, I had a question for you. What, nigger?
I just want to make sure you're doing okay.
Bro, what? Bro, I've been raped by my uncle. Bro, like, I hate you, bro. I hate all niggers. Allegedly.
Hey, where my echo at though? You know what you supposed to say. You ain't say it. Where you at?
Fuck you, nigger. What?
Yo, Ryan. Good morning, my nigga.
Good morning, my nigger.
Oh hell nah, cuz. Skin check.
Good morning, my nigga. No, I said my nigger.
Pull out that Peter Griffin skin check, gang.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Yo, I had a question for you. What, nigger?
I just want to make sure you're doing okay.
Bro, what? Bro, I've been raped by my uncle. Bro, like, I hate you, bro. I hate all niggers. Allegedly.
Okay. All right. So there you go. That I don't have to play anything else. You want to see other videos of that little dude? Look up the name Ryan Garcia. You find it, man. All right. But you just heard you just heard what he said, and that little clip right there. He said, "I hate all niggers." All right. So he's trying to be like the all-American white guy. You see, and that and that's the and that's the mentality. That's the mentality of a lot of unfortunately, all right, the so-called white Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Colombians, and so on, or white-looking ones, right? They might be our people too, but the majority of them have been misled, okay, and indoctrinated, all right, to think and behave a certain way against us so-called Afro Latinos, all right, or the darker skinned so-called Puerto Ricans and Latinos, man. Okay, so but by the way, today I'm gonna make brief mention of this real quick. Uh, as you see, a lot of brothers are making videos of the alleged assassination attempt on Trump earlier today. All right, but I could have done a video on it myself, but I had already been meditating and setting up, this here sit down with this particular topic for tonight. All right. So just check out the brothers' videos on this alleged assassination attempt on Donald Trump in Pennsylvania earlier today. So Lord willing, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on with the sit down. All right. And I'm gonna go through scriptures now. All right, so I'm on Blue Letter Bible now, and the first scripture I wanna start with, Lord willing, the Deuteronomy. All right, Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. All right, because the Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, focuses on the curses that the Lord laid on our people for turning away from Him, basically. So He basically cursed us, so-called people of color, with to undergo all kind of setbacks and disappointments, and you know all kind of shunning and rejections in this here white man society, the good old USA, or the good old US of A, right? Or even if it's not in the good old US of A, this thing is globally, all right? The oppression that us people of color go through today is really a global issue. As long as the so-called white man is over the top, it will always be a global issue until the Lord comes back. All right, until Yahweh Shai cracks them clouds open, man. All right. So without further ado, let's go to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28 is a heavy duty scripture, but I'm only going to read a few key verses of it. All right, I got at least two lined up here. All right, so that would be Deuteronomy 28. Okay, and I'm going to read verses 20 and then verse 27. So Deuteronomy 28 and 20 says this: The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke. Okay? Now, for edification's sake, all right, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Here we go. So let's look up the word vexation. and then I'll look up rebuke. All right. Okay. The word vexation includes these kind of words, man. Tumult, confusion, uh, disquietude, discomfort, destruction, trouble, vexed, vexation, all right? Tumult, all right? Disturbance, turmoil, panic, all right? A lot of our people panic in this white man society, okay? If a landlord if a landlord sends you an eviction notice because he claims that you owe him or them money, what would be your first reaction? You would panic, right? So our people are always in a state of panic in this comfortable white man society. Okay? He gets all the breaks while our people panic and go for all kind of hell, go for all kind of shameful and looking down upon situations. Okay? Now let's look up the other word. I just looked up vexation, rebuke. Another interesting word right here. All right? Rebuke. Okay? Uh, rebuke, reproof. All right? Yeah, it says here curse, fatal to mortals. Okay? Yeah, rebuke. That at the end of the day, that that's gotta be another word for rejection. Okay?
Strong's H 4045. McEdith. McEdith.
Okay, so you heard the Hebrew pronunciation of rebuke, mekharet. All right. Now let's go back. I'm gonna read the rest of the scripture. So once again, the Lord, the Most High, shall send upon us as a people, so-called dark-skinned people of color, because that's what all people on the planet Earth were originally. All right. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, okay, vexation, and rebuke, and all that thou settest thine hand, okay, unto for to do until thou be destroyed, okay. So while the white man gets all the breaks in this society that he established, all right, by ways of shedding blood and destroying other people's lives, okay, you so-called you so-called black people, and I'm gonna say it like it is, so-called black people, all right. It doesn't matter whether you're so-called African American or Afro Latino. Okay, I am directing myself now to people just like me that have some color on the skin, all right, and knows what I'm talking about, and knows from their own experiences where I'm coming from and the message I'm trying to spread. Okay? So basically in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it gives you a brief rundown of these tribulations, curses that we would go through as so-called people of color in this society, man. All right? Plain and simple. All right? Until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings. So basically, in our past life, we were wicked. And for being wicked, the Almighty brought us all kind of shame, all kind of hell, made us to look down and hate ourselves, to have some color on the skin. He put us in a society that would basically teach us how to fucking hate ourselves, how to look down ourselves, and to have people who would contribute in helping us look down on ourselves. All right? Plain and simple. Whereby thou hast forsaken me. All right, there you go. Because we forsook the Most High, okay? Because we forsook the Most High power, that face that you see right there, and that might be an artist's rendering, but that clarifies what the Lord really looks like, man. He doesn't look anything like your Jesucristo. All right? Okay? So because we published a very racist world upon us, man, it's not only the white Americans that look down on us, it's also our own so-called people. All right? So-called African Americans who are lighter skinned, they look down on so-called African Americans who are darker skinned. Okay? And in this particular topic I'm working on tonight, so-called Puerto Ricans who happen to be white or consider themselves white, and other white-looking Latinos, whether you're Mexican, Cuban, Colombian, all right? You look down on the darker skinned Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and Mexicans. All right? Bottom line, straight up, man. All right? Straight up. Okay? Now, back to the scripture. All right? I'm going to read verse 27 now. Salakia. Is it verse 27? Hold up. $37. I'm Salakia. All right? This is the part I'm going to bring. Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations. Among all nations, that including our own people, our own so-called people. They look down on us, okay? They like to refer to us as Moreno, okay? A lot of you so-called Puerto Ricans, especially some of you white ones that might be watching. If you're watching, I could imagine how uncomfortable you must feel right now, man. All right, because I am making some references to you and your kind. All right, and in case you look down on my kind. All right, plain and simple, Jack. All right. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations. Okay? Whether the Lord shall lead thee. All right? The American white man, he likes to call the American black man what? The very infamous N-word. Nigger. Nigger. Hey, nigger. You nigger this, nigger that. All right? Nigger, 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 nigger. You nigger. All right? I can't stand niggers. I hate niggers. You heard that white Mexican dude. He said that he hates all niggers. All right? Nigger this and nigger that. All right? The so-called Puerto Rican likes using uh the they like using the term moreno a lot. All right, moreno, which is a word which that word derives from the Moors. Okay, the Moors, uh, the Moors were so-called black people that originated from that they were Muslims. All right, they were Muslims or black Arabs. All right, that conquered Europe. All right, and Spain was really one of them countries. All right, so that's where the term moreno comes from. All right, they like using the term, oh, you moreno, moreno this, moreno that, you fucking moreno. All right, they look down on people like me and you, in case you're watching, and you're also a person of color. For they consider us what? Moreno, moreno this, moreno that. Okay, the so-called Dominicans, they like referring to so-called black people. Uh, some of you gotta be familiar with that term. They like using a Spanish word that begins with the letter P. Okay, the letter P. All right, they like referring to a black person as, oh, ese prieto, a prieto, un prieto. All right, I don't like prietos. You prieto, ese prieto, that prieto, prieto, prieto. I hate prietos. Okay, prieto. Okay, prieto. Okay, P-R. Okay, let me see if I get it right. P-R. Okay, that's got to be Prieto. Prieto. Okay, that's really the Dominican slang word for nigger. Okay, the so-called Italians, they like to refer to you so-called black people as what? Molignan, okay, or eggplant. Oh, I can't stand that Molignan right there. He's a Molignan. Okay, so that's an example of the many proverbs and bywords that us so-called people of color would be referred to as, man. Okay, there's a whole variety and assortment of other offensive names that does not just involve the N word. As long as you're a person of color, all right, that you know that they'll always have a different term of insulting you, plain and simple. All right. Now, I just read you Deuteronomy 28. Okay. Uh, all right. I'm gonna go to Isaiah now. All right. All right. Just bear with me a moment. So that's Isaiah 11 and hold up. Yeah, Isaiah 11 and 13. All right. Okay. Isaiah 11 and 13. It says this. Hold up. Okay. I'm going to start at verse 12. All right. Isaiah 11 and 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. All right. Now the reason I brought that scripture up is because we are living in the time now where the Lord is getting ready to assemble. All right. Just as an Avengers assemble, right? The Lord is getting ready to assemble His own real life Avengers, all right, by bringing together, all right, all the tribes, and that realize their differences, that they're one and the same, that they're not so-called Puerto Ricans or Dominicans or Mexicans or Cubans, so-called African American. You understand what I'm saying? All right. So the Lord is basically getting ready to assemble His chosen elect. All right. He's bringing them together. This has been the time where the members of the elect have been coming together by accepting this word. All right, you understand what I'm saying? By acquiring enough knowledge to go out and teach others this truth, and that's how the Lord is setting up this ensign, okay, for the nations to witness this coming together. All right, okay, and gather together the dispersed of Judah. Judah is you so-called Negroes, the number one tribe, okay, of the nation of Israel, Yasharahla. Ephraim is one of the head tribes. Okay, they make up, I believe, part of the northern kingdom. Okay, the whole Spanish speaking tribes, not just so-called Puerto Ricans, Mexicans too, make up the northern kingdom. All right, if I'm not mistaken, that's what they are really referred to. All right. So verse 13 goes on to say, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart. Ephraim is your so-called Puerto Ricans. All right. Okay. A lot of you, a lot of you, you really envy Judah. You have this tension towards the so-called Moreno. Okay. And Judah also has, the so-called Negro has also complained and looked down upon so-called Puerto Ricans and the rest of the Spanish-speaking tribes. But this scripture here is detailing the future end of that. Okay? The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah, all right? Not just the so-called white man and the other nations, but even those of our very own so-called people that look down upon us so-called Afro-Latinos because they consider themselves white Latinos, all right? Simple as that, bottom line, all right? No strings attached, all right? So Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off, meaning destroyed, upon the Lord's return when all hell breaks loose. A lot of these white racists out there, it doesn't whether they're fucking English or not, a Spaniard, Spanish, a so-called Latino, they're gonna be destroyed, man. Plain and simple. All right. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Plain and simple. So right now, these two head tribes are up in arms. Okay, that they can't stand each other overall. That there's like this divide and conquer between them, courtesy of the so-called white man. But the Lord is going to destroy that real soon. All right, plain and simple. Now, let's go to Isaiah 41 and 11. All right, I got just a few more scriptures lined up. Isaiah 41 and 11. All right. Isaiah 41 and 11. Salaki, hold up. Let me just look up. I'm gonna get back to this. Isaiah 5 and 28. Salakia. All right. All right. All right. Salakia. Isaiah 41 and 11. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. All right, so what's that talking about? That's talking about all our enemies right now. Not just the so-called white man, not just the elite banking families. All right? The whole white world, all right, including our own so-called people. All right? Our own so-called people, so-called Puerto Ricans, got Cubans and Mexicans, even Dominicans that have that lighter skin, and they classify themselves as white, all right? They too are the enemy, man. And they have all shown animosity, all right? They have all shown, okay, that animosity, okay, and antagonism towards us as a people. Now, when I say us as a people, I include myself and those of you that might be watching who also may happen to be so-called Afro-Latinos or dark-skinned Latinos or brown-skinned Latinos. And you know what I'm talking about. You know where I'm coming from. All right? It says here that all these people that have this hatred towards us, their time is coming. Their day is right around the corner, man. The Lord, the Most High, so you can understand, has their days numbered. Okay? All the motherfuckers, they're going to get it real soon. All right? It says here, plain and simple. All they that were incensed, that's extreme hatred, and extreme hatred towards any person of color, not just dark skin, and extreme hatred, and extreme looking down upon, and extreme shunning. All right? All them motherfuckers gonna get it up their ass, man. All right? Plain and simple. That's what that's talking about. All they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed. The Lord is going to put them ashamed, and they're going to be confounded. And they shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. So all our enemies, okay, beginning with the so-called white man and including his military, because you best believe that he's getting ready to use his military upon us when all hell breaks loose. That's why the book of Revelation and Revelation 12, if I'm not mistaken, and I have brought this scripture up many times before, okay? For behold, the devil shall come upon you having great wrath, because he know that his time is short. Okay, his time is running out. So he's going to use his military force against us people of color. Whether you care to believe it or not, that's what's coming, man. Okay? Y'all saw what happened to Trump today, or allegedly happened. They're setting things up already. Okay? This great race and civil war that's coming. Okay? All right? Plain and simple. And they that strive with thee shall perish. Now, Zechariah 14, I'm going to end it with that. All right? Okay? Let's see if I can find that here. Zechariah 14. Okay? So that would be Zechariah verse 12. And it says this, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Okay, meaning when the nuclear missiles finally hit. Okay, this could also serve as a precept to the scripture I just read. Okay, it bears a similarity. All they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded, and shall be as nothing. Okay, and they that strive with thee shall perish. I just read that scripture. And here it says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord, and you see the word, the name Lord there in capital letters, will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Jerusalem is us so-called people of color. Okay? Those of you that might be watching, you're the real Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. It's us so-called Afro-Latinos, man. Okay? Those of us that have already been discriminated and looked down upon by our own people simply because they happen to be white. Okay? And all the other nations, okay? And our top enemy is, of course, the all-American white man. Okay? So they're all getting ready to meet this judgment when that day of doom comes. Okay? Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Okay? So there you go. Okay? And I'm going to read verse 13. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them. And they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. Okay? That's talking about, that's got to be talking about uh, a similar scripture. It's in the book of Second Esdras, right? Where it talks about insurrection. All right, that there's an insurrection coming to this society, man. Whether you care to believe it or not, there's a race war and insurrection coming. All right, that's what the scripture is talking about. All right, and Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel and great abundance. All right. So that's all I'm reading on that. Meaning that us so-called people of color, with the help, mercy, and salvation of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, will get our upper hand, will have the upper hand over all that have oppressed us. Okay? And we're gonna take hold, Lord willing, of what rightfully belongs to us. Okay? What rightfully belong, all the wealth in the world really belongs to us. Us the oppressed, the meek of the earth. Meek is another word for low. We're the meek right now, man. Okay? The word Puerto Rico, by the way, that means port of riches. Is it really much a port of riches now? Hell no. It might be called that way, okay? But all the wealth and resources that island had prior to the so-called discovery of Christopher Columbus, he went in there and stole all of that island's riches. So the vast Salakia. So the vast majority of people that live in that island now live in poverty, man. And who are the ones that mainly live in the ghettos and in poverty? Okay, so-called people of color, the white looking Puerto Ricans, the lighter skinned ones, they live on Easy Street. They live in the more luxurious parts of the island, the more exclusive areas. And the same thing is happening all over the world. The lighter skinned ones have you know what I'm saying? They seem to have it easier than those of us that have color on the skin. That's why they look down upon and discriminate against us. But that day of looking down upon and all that shunning and antagonism and discrimination will soon come to an end. All right? So call halal Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. I hope this was edifying. Shalom.